Welcome to Theater Time. We're reviewing The Hateful Eight by Quentin Tarantino. So The Hateful Eight starts off following Kurt Russell. He's playing a character called the Hangman. He's a bounty hunter transporting a prisoner to the next town to trade her in for her bounty. So they come across Samuel L. Jackson, who's also a bounty hunter, and he has his own bounties as well. Samuel.
Got room for one more?
Samuel L. Jackson came into a rough spot. He doesn't have a horse, and he's freezing in the winter wilderness. So Kurt Russell's character gives him a ride to the next town. But on the way, they get stuck in a blizzard. So to get away from the blizzard, they stop at this shack in the middle of nowhere where they plan to ride out the storm. They go inside. There's a lot of other strangers there also riding out the storm. Then the movie kind of turns into a Western-style version of the game Clue. There's a murder, things aren't adding up, everybody's trying to figure out who did it. It's very suspenseful, and you're kind of checking off, I think they did it, I think they didn't do it, I think they're safe. And it's a very suspenseful, exciting movie at this point. Most of the movie takes place in the shack, and you're guessing the whole time, did he do it, did they do it? And just like a Quentin Tarantino movie, it takes its curves and corners. It leaves you with a lot of guesswork. It's exciting as you're trying to figure out who did it, and then it always ends in a gory mess, which is great. That's the beauty of Quentin Tarantino's movies. You know it's going to be a gory mess. You know it's going to have a great storyline. You know it's going to have cinematic features all throughout the movie. You know it's going to have a great melodic intermission somewhere in the movie. It's a typical Quentin Tarantino movie, which is anything but typical. I don't know if Quentin Tarantino's a genius or he just writes a good script and he's a great director. If you can make it past all the artistic craziness that's Quentin Tarantino and get to the meat of the story and get past the fact that you think it's Django Unchained Part 2 in the beginning, it really does have a great story. Much like Django Unchained, this movie used the N-word like a comma. Every other word's the N-word, and at first it's kind of surprising, but you realize it's part of the time. I think they probably even use it more than they did back then, but it's a Quentin Tarantino movie. What else do you expect? Tim Roth is in the movie playing a British character that reminds you a little bit of Christoph Waltz in Django Unchained. And Michael Madsen's also in the movie from Kill Bill. So you start thinking at a point, is Quentin Tarantino just not like interviewing new actors, or does he like playing the solid actors that he knows worked for his movies in the past? Always in Quentin Tarantino movies do you start to see the same actors in other various movies he's had. He actually wrote part of this movie for Samuel L. Jackson, but can you blame him? Jason Leigh is pretty much captive the whole movie, and being in handcuffs and chains, you would think she wouldn't be that big a part of the movie, or she wouldn't have shown her acting chops that much, but it's really the opposite. She really does bring a big part of the movie, and she's one of the leading actors in the movie. Quentin Tarantino's not starring in the movie, but he does narrate partial way through the movie, and for that scene you can hear the dramatics in his voice, the love for the script, the love for the scene, and he really sells it. You don't even have to like westerns to go enjoy this movie. I don't really like westerns that much, but you forget it's a western. When you're following this group of people, it turns into such a suspenseful movie. You're following the characters and wondering what's going to happen, who's going to die, who's going to be destroyed in this gore-filled movie, and it's just beauty. He makes something that would normally be horrifying in other movies just seem kind of comedic and joyous when they finally get the bad guy. Quentin Tarantino does a good job as usual. He takes a 3-hour movie in a mundane setting about situations that you would never normally want to hear about, and he makes it exciting. It's actually 3 hours and 2 minutes long, and it feels like you're in there for 15 minutes. It's a really good movie that you're not going to have trouble sitting in there for 3 hours in a movie theater. It keeps you interested. It keeps you on the edge of your seat. At the end of the day, it's a Quentin Tarantino movie with Samuel L. Jackson as a star. There's a lot of gore. There's a lot of comedy. There's a lot of suspense. Do you really need to hear anything else? 5 stars. Go see it. Get off your butt. Get to the theater. Comment below. Let me know what you thought of the movie. I want to know what you thought. Give me some feedback. Am I wrong? Do I just love Quentin Tarantino movies? What about the people that don't like Quentin Tarantino movies? I want to hear from you as well. Subscribe to our channel for more content. Comment down below. Let us know what you thought of the movie. Click that like button and be entered in prizes every single week. We give everything away from electronics, laptops, TVs, games, a little bit of everything. Every week's a little different, and we'll post our winners on the next video.
Oh shit, it wasn't recorded.